Welcome back to Tosca Scenario Handling Series Part 4 from Technology Training Experts. In this video, we are going to talk about date function from framework perspective. Now, if you have not watched our previous parts in this series, I suggest you to go and watch them to understand the concepts from framework perspective of what we use in our projects. So let's jump into the date function of how we use different categories of date inside our project requirements. Now in this video, I'm going to explain you the importance and different things that we can try using this date function. Okay, I will be creating a separate folder here for explaining this, and also I will be creating a dummy test case here, date test case. Okay, now for explaining this date function to you, I'll be using predominantly the standard module, buffer operations and T-box set buffer. This does not mean that the date function is applicable only for T-box set buffer. It can be used anywhere inside your customized modules also, but just for the explanation purpose, I'll be using this T-box set buffer. So now this is the test case. Now we have got T-box set buffer here. Let me set up the requirement here. Okay, so now the requirement is I want to get today's date. Now in what situations actually we use date function is in realistic point of view in projects, in cases where we have to identify the date of birth of a person, or if a person buys a product, we have to assign a warranty to that product, or the end of warranty, the start of the warranty and also end of the warranty, and the vote capability of a particular person, or reporting purpose. If you want a report from 3 months back date, okay, so you want today's date and also you want 3 months back date. So these are all the situations why we use the date function, and will be very easy and helpful. Okay, so let me tell you the first requirement here. I just want to get today's date. That's my requirement. So what is the function? So I define its T-box set buffer here, and I give name as today's date underscore buffer. So okay, that's the name I want to give for the buffer name. So now I want to define, I want to identify today's date, get today's date, and I want to store it inside this buffer. That's my requirement. So how do I do that? Flower bracket, this is how we add a function. Flower bracket, you simply type DATE, this is the date function, and again flower bracket, close the flower bracket. Now this is the date function. I suggest to use capital letters. Even if it is small letters also it will work, but it will look nice if it is capital letters. Type date and close the flower bracket. So this is the date function. If I execute this test case, what happens is it will get today's date, the tool will get today's date, and it will assign that to this particular buffer. Okay, and once the date function is attached, once the date is attached to it, to this particular buffer, I can use it anywhere in any number of test cases, anywhere inside my workspace. That's the benefit of it. So let me execute this particular test case here, or a test step. Right click on this, run in Scratchbook. When I execute this, you see the execution is successful here. So I have got a Scratchbook here. Let me expand this and let me show you. Buffer with the name today's date buffer has been set to value 22/2025. Now this is the today's date, the date of my recording. Okay, it is February 20th 2025. So it is dd.mm.yyyy. This is the format the system gives us. This is the format that system gives us, dd.mm.yyyy. That's the format. Now this has been identified and this has been attached to this particular buffer. Okay, now you know what, I'm going to tell you some interesting fact. In order to see if the function is working fine or not, you don't have to right click on this and execute this in the Scratchbook or even the step or the test case. Not necessary. There is an easy method called translate value. You have given the function here, so right click on this function on this particular line where you have given this value in the value function. So can you see something called translate value here? You click on that, it will show you the today's date here. So it says transaction is successful and one expression is found and the value is 20.2.2025, which means the meaning of this is, if you execute this particular test case or this particular test step, the answer that you get out of this function would be 20.2.2025 dd.mm.yyyy. Okay, this is an easy way. You don't have to execute just to see if it is working fine or not. This is a simple function which will take today's date and it will assign it somewhere. But some time back, now when we are typing this date function, right, I have shown you, you might have seen the actual syntax of it. So simply when I type date here, date, so you see it is showing you, the tool is showing you all the details about this particular function. Now this is the simple syntax, but this is the actual syntax. Actual syntax of this date will have flower bracket date, three square brackets. The first square bracket is for base date, the second square bracket is for offset, and third one is for the format. Finally close the flower bracket. That's the actual syntax. So now I'm going to do that. So flower bracket date, I want to add three square brackets here, 1, 2 and 3 square brackets, and close the flower bracket. Now press enter. It looks exactly same, but if you double click on this, you will get to see the actual syntax here. Now this will give you the exact date output only. Only the format is changing. Okay. So now right click on this, and if I simply say translate value, it will give me the same date, 20.2.25. But now what is the benefit of using this complete syntax? Now let us understand. This is the importance of this particular function. Now the last function, let us understand one square bracket after another square bracket. The last square bracket, whatever you see here, we use this for format changing. As of now, when I execute a function, it is showing the date, the date function in what is in the format of dd.mm.yyyy. But in case if I want to change that format, I have to specify what format I want in this last square bracket. So it is dd, example, instead of dot I want slash, dd slash mm slash yyyy. You observe closely, dd is a small and mm is capital and yyyy is small again. The reason I have kept mm as capital, because if it is small mm, the tool might be understanding it is a millimeter also. So let us not confuse it. So keep it as mm. This is the format. This is the standard. Okay. So I am saying I want a date. I want today's date, but I want it to be saved in this format. That's the meaning of this function. So now when you right click on this and when you say translate value, it will be showing you today's date. It is 20/2/2025 only, but with slashes in between. You see, the format is changing. Now if you want, instead of slashes, you want hyphens, you can apply that. So dd hyphen mm hyphen yyyy. So now translate value, you will get to see the same thing, 20/2/2025. The format is changing. Now if you ask me, is it really mandatory for me to definitely use dd first, mm next, and then yyyy next? Not necessary. You can change even that. Mm can be given first, and you can say hyphen dd hyphen yyyy. This is the format I want. I want month, date and year. So execute this. Now my output should be 02.20/2025. You see, 02-20/2025. Now that's the date format. Now is it mandated that definitely you need to use all these three? Not necessary. If your requirement is only to get only month and year, I don't want date, so delete the date. You give only month and year, mm hyphen yyyy. So right click on this and translate value. You will get to see 02/2025, month and year, February 2025. Whichever format we want, that format will be shown inside this last square bracket. Okay, now let us go to the next one. Flower bracket date, I said three square brackets, first square bracket, second square bracket, third square bracket, and then finally close the flower bracket. Now we have already seen the last square bracket here. Now we will be seeing the second square bracket. You see here the second square bracket. Now my cursor is in between the second square bracket. Second square bracket is what we call it as offset. Now what is this offset is, if you want to calculate previous date or future date. So you can use this particular bracket. Example, till now whatever function that I'm using for this date, it is giving me only today's date. Now I want yesterday's date, which is 19th February. That's what I want, not 20th February. I want 19th February. So what do? I should say -1. But -1 means what? Like, is it day or month or year? I have to specify that. I want yesterday's date, which is day, which is -1 day. I have to specify -1 D. So this tells me that I want yesterday's date, okay, but I want yesterday's date in which format? I did not specify any format. Now let me execute this particular part. So right click on this, and if I execute this, it will show me yesterday's date in the system format. So translate value, it will show me, you see, 19 February 2025 with the dots in between. Now if you want the same thing with slashes in between, okay, so you specify the format also, dd/mm/YYYY. So I want yesterday's date in this format, okay. So right click on this, translate value, you will get to see 19/02/2025, okay. So it is yesterday's date. If I want 5 days back date, what should I do? -5D. So it will give me 5 days back date. Right click on this and translate value. See, February 15, 2025. If I want 1 month back date, what should I do? Should I say -30D or -1M? So there is a small difference in this. If I give -30D, it will show me the date as 21st of January, because January month is 31 days. So -30D will give me 21st of January. But if I give, if I execute this with -1M, which is 1 month back date, okay, then it will give me 20th of January. So translate value. So you see 21/1/2025. But if I give -1M here, so -1M, capital M, so it will give me 20th of January. So 1 month back date. Be mindful about this. So this is how we can calculate. You want to have the future date, so you can say plus I want 10 days, okay. So 10 days plus 10D. So today's date is 20th of February plus 10D, so 28, and then 1 and 2. So I think 2nd of March is what I should be getting. Yes, you see, 02/3/2025, 2nd of March 2025. So this is how we can calculate. Very helpful. You can attach 2 days previous and also 2 days minus. Example, if a person comes and say like, okay, a person bought a product, okay, today. Now this product will get a warranty of 3 years. So what should I do? So what should I verify from a test case point of view? Application is calculating the warranty date correctly or not. So plus 3 years. So plus 3 years means this person, it will give me 3 years future date. If you execute this, if you translate value, you should be getting an output as February 20, 2028. You see, February 20, 2028. That's the 3 years future date. But tell me one thing, if you buy a product today and if you get 3 years warranty, will it be 20th February 2028 or 19th February 2028? I think it should be 19th February 2028. So now it's plus 3 years only, but 1 day lesser than that. So 1 day less than complete 3 years. So what should I do here? If I say plus 3 years, it is showing February 20. Now I say plus 3 years minus 1D. So in that reduce 1 day. So it should give me February 19th, 2028. That's the end date of it. You see, February 19th to 2028. Very helpful. Very helpful from the project's perspective. You can get to see the dates, age, and you can get a report, warranties, and all the banking applications, insurance applications, everywhere this date function will be, SAP applications, the date will be very healthy to use. Okay, now let's go to the next square bracket, the first square bracket. So flower bracket, date. So we have three square brackets: first square bracket, second square bracket, third square bracket. Third square bracket is for the format, second square bracket is for the offset. We have seen all that till now. The first square bracket is for base date. Now what is base date? Now here till now when I say plus 3 years or minus 1 day, whatever it is calculating the date based on today's date. It is considering today's date as a base date. But if I say, if I want the calculation to be done, the offset calculation to be done from a specific day, example, I'll tell you a requirement. Get me 1 year back date, understand? Get me 1 year back date from January 1st 2025. What is the January 1st 2025? 1 year back date. It should be January 1st 2024. Okay, how do we get it? So that is what we say the first square bracket. First square bracket is base date. You calculate the offset from a specific date. So I give here 01.01.2025, that is January 1st 2025. Okay, now get me 1 year back date minus 1 year, and I want the date to be in the format of dd-mm-yyyy. This is the format. So from this date calculate this offset minus 1 year, which is 2024, but give me that in this format. So now right click on this, translate value, you should be getting January 1st 2024 in this particular format. One more important information for you to understand is the date, whatever we are mentioning in this base date, the first square bracket should always follow dd.mm.yyyy format. This is the only format that is acceptable and by the tool. We cannot give any other value. The third square bracket is where we can give any format, that is the output format, but this is the input data, so we have to give only in this format. Okay, so this is the date functionality. Now similar to this, very helpful, similar to this, there are few more things that we have to learn. There is something called time. So what is time? It will show me today's, now the exact, during execution, the exact amount of hours, minutes and seconds. So right click on this and translate value, it will show me 19:09, which means 7:09, evening 7 o'clock 9 minutes. Okay, that is what is time. Now you can combine date and time, which gives you date time, which is nothing but the timestamp. So timestamp also will be very helpful in project's point of view. So flower bracket, date and time, you see date time combining it. So give it here and right click on this and translate value, you will get to see this is the date. So 2025 02 February 20, that's the date. Okay, this is the date. 19:10:10, which means 7 o'clock 10 minutes 10 seconds. That is what will be have got. Every time you execute this value will change. Obviously that's the timestamp. Every second, every time you execute a different second will come. See, 7 o'clock, evening 7 o'clock 10 minutes 30 seconds, previously 10 seconds. So every time you execute it will be changed. You can assign this to any particular buffer and you can use that any buffer. This is the exact time where we have used a function, or where this test case is running. This will be helpful. Okay, so now apart of this, there are few more things that we can, few more functions we can use, that is a day, l day and all those things. Observe this. So there's something called a day. So when you say a day, it will give us, so execute this, right click on this and translate value, it will give today's day in text format, THU, Thursday. Okay, if it is Monday, it will give you MON. Okay, so this is a day. Okay, similarly there is something called a month. You see, a month. If you run this, what happens is, if you execute this, if you translate value, you will get it as FEB, February, FEB. Okay, so this is a day and a month. Similarly, there is something called L day. L day. So a day gives us only THU, not Thursday completely, only THU. Whereas L day will give you the complete name. See, Thursday completely. Now if you want the month also, L month, yeah, so right click on this, translate value, you will get to see February, complete month. Similarly, there are few things. If you want a day completely, only a day, okay, so you can specify this, see, day, sorry, let us give day and flower bracket. So this will give you the date, today's date, only in the number format. So translate value, today is 20th, right? So it gives you 20. If you want month, what is today's month? February. So the day, the number point of view, what is the month here? 02. So you get to see that in this month. See, right click on this, translate value, you will get to see month 2, you see, which is second month. Similarly, if you want year, flower bracket, YEAR, year, so translate value 25. Okay, now there are few things that we can see. We can say month first and month last. There is something called month first. You want to get to see what is the first day of this month. First day, it is very easy. We will never use this in reality, not much generally, because we already know every time like what is the first day of the month. If you know today's date, you can easily understand what is the first day of the month. But this will be very helpful in understanding what is the last day of the month. You see, you may wonder like in what situation we use this. We have to create some reports, we have to run some reports. So I can put a simple if condition. So get today's last date of this, and if the today's date and if the last day of the month are matching, then create a report, else don't create a report. So these kind of things will happen. So month last, so this will be very helpful, particularly to understand whether this month has the 31 days or 21 days, 31 days or 30 days, or 28 days or 29 days, whatever it is. So if I want, I mean month last, I'm getting 28.02.2025. Now few things, what we can do is like we can open the flower bracket and we can say L month. So L month here, okay. And if you want to attach two functions here, you can do this like this. You can again say flower bracket, date of, you have 3 square brackets here, right? Give the 3 square brackets, again close the flower bracket, square bracket, flower bracket. Be mindful, every square bracket and flower bracket that you are opening, you have to close it. Okay, so internally there is one more day here. So you want to know the L month, which means the month complete name of a particular function. Okay, you want month. So I don't want today's month, I want the month of a particular date. So example, I'm giving the date as minus 90 days, example minus 90D. So the point I want is 90 days back, pick up, or maybe 97 days, keep it as 97. Okay, 97 days back date, get that date, and for that date, what is the month, give that month in the name of L month format, which means it gives the complete name of that month name. Okay, so somewhere I have missed to give the format correctly. So yeah, here the square bracket is missing, be mindful. Yeah, I see. Now first this internal function will be executed, date of minus 9D, 97D. So it will go back to 97 days back, and that date will be picked up. For that date, you are asking it to identify the month name. Okay, so right click on this and translate value. So you see, it is November month. 97 days back, it is a November month. So these things, you can combine two functions to get you an output. Okay, you can combine anything. Example, you want to get to know what is the last day of a particular February month, example. Okay, you can do that, last month of DD. Okay, and whichever format you want, you can use it. Now don't mind, again I'm telling you, repeating you, that don't think that the functions will be definitely used only inside buffers, not necessary. Inside your customized modules, whatever that you have recorded, you can attach that to any of your test cases, and inside the test cases you can use this for verifications, for input, for inputting something, for verifying. Example, I can give you, create a report for 3 months, Okay, so you have from date and to date. From date, in the from date you have to give 90 days back date or 3 months back date, and in the to date you have to give today's date. These functions will be very, very helpful. There you can give the direct values, you don't have to use buffers. Okay, but example, there if there is a requirement where you want to create a you want to save a particular file, then you want to assign you want to create a file with the name of the execution, name as only execution date and time. Okay, then you can get date and time and attach it to a buffer, and you can use that buffer as the name to that particular file. So lots of different functionalities, lots and lots of different functionalities. Now there is one more beautiful example that I can give here that I've used in my projects. So there is a requirement saying like, okay, from this February 25th 2025, a candidate will get 18 years of age, and he'll be ready to vote. Okay, get me the date of birth of that person. So what do? I give 25th 02 2025. I'll say minus 18 years, and in this format, in a specific format. So that will give me the date of birth of that particular person 18 years back. I can assign it to some value, some buffer, and I can save it anywhere. So this is how you can do wonders using this date functionality. Okay, so hope it helps. Use it in your projects and tell me how it feels in the comments. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you will never miss our next concept. Also, if you have any questions, please comment in the video or mail us at technologytrainingexperts@gmail.com. See you in the next video.